For tonight's homework, we're going to be doing some practice problems. So let's put practice on the top. And to make it a little easier for us teachers to know which problems this is, let's go ahead and write number 97, 98, and number 99. And this is on page 17. So you should get your book out and you should be working on page 121, number 97, 98, 99. So go ahead and try those. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over them. So 97. Sorry, this is 2-97. There we go. It says, write the equation of an exponential function that passes through the points 0, 32 and 3, 4. So I know we're looking for an exponential. It's an exponential function passing through zero, 32 and 3, 4. Okay. So the first piece of information that is really important is that it is an exponential function. So exponential means that I'm going to be multiplying by something. Now how I like to do these problems is I like to make a table. So I'm going to make a table. And I'm going to put these points in my table. I have 0, 32. I don't know what 1 is. I don't know what 2 is. But I do know that 3 is 4. Okay? Now, like I said before, I know that it is multiplying because it's exponential. So I can say that 32 times something times something times something is going to give me that 4. Now, I know it's like that because it is exponential. So from there, I can set up an equation to figure out what that something is. 32 times, now I need to write x times x times x. How do you write x times x times x? You write it as x cubed equals that 4. Now to solve for that x cubed, I'm going to divide by 32. And I get x cubed equals, I'm going to put 4 over 32 in my calculator, 0.125. Now right here is going to be where a lot of people make a mistake. People will square root this. The problem with that is that's a cube. That is not a square. So in order to get rid of that, you have to cube root it with a little 3 out there. And the way you do that is in your calculator. If you have one of these, if you don't, then if you're using your phone, then it's a little different. But you just press math and you go down to the little guy with a 3 in front of it. And then I'm going to put 0.125. And the answer is 0.5. So x equals 0.5. What did I just find when I found x equals 0.5? I found the multiplier. So an exponential function will be f of t equals a times b to the t, or you can always write it as y equals a b to the x. They mean the same thing. It's just a different way of writing it, so either one is perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and stick with this one. So that'll be f of t equals a, which is our starting value, and we're given that one. That's going to be 32 times 0.5 to the t. Again, if you wrote it as y equals 32 times 0.5 to the x, that's the same thing. Okay. Now for 2-98. It says, if two sides of a triangle are 8 and 13, what do you know about the length of the third side? Okay, so we know that two sides are 8 and 13, and then we need to figure out what we know about that third side. So this is what we talked about with the triangle inequality theorem. So we know that we have a triangle, some triangle, don't know what it looks like, and we have a side length of 8 and a side length of 13. Now some teachers teach this a different way. I like to use a number line. So on my number line, There's going to be some numbers that work, and there's going to be some numbers that don't work. And the way we figure that out is we're going to add those two numbers together. So we do 13 plus 8. And that's going to be 21. And 21 is going to go over here. Then let's subtract those two numbers. 13 minus 8 will be 5. And 5 is going to go here. Now, any numbers in there, inside here, will work. But 21 won't work because it's too big, and 5 won't work because it's too small. So how we write this is, I'm going to say x. X has to be bigger than 5, and x has to be less than 21. It has to be in between there, if we know that the side lengths are 8 and 13. That's the triangle inequality theorem, and I'm just going to write that down here. Because if this problem was really, really hard for you, you may want to ask your teacher to go back over that triangle inequality theorem. And then finally, let's do 2-99. And 2-99 has a lot of words in it. So it says, Renee has programmed her music player to play all 5 songs in her playlist in a random order without repeating songs. And we have those songs right here. I Love My Mama, which is country. Don't Call Me Mama, which is country. Carefree and Blue, which is R&B. Go Back to Mama, rock. Smashing Lollipops, which is rock. Okay, we're going to be answering questions about this. So the first question, A, is what is the probability that the first song is a country song? Well, let's figure out how many country songs there are. There are 2 out of the total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll be 2/5. Letter B. If the first song is a country song, does that affect the probability that the second song is a country song? Okay. Now we need to go back to the original problem. It says, without repeating songs. So once we play a song, we're not going to play it again. So if the first song is a country song, does that affect the probability that the second song is a country song? Well, if we can't repeat songs, then yes, because we took off I Love My Mama, we can't play that song anymore. Or Don't Call Me Mama, whatever country song we played. So now we're only left with 1 country song out of the leftover, which is 3 more, so 1/4 of them. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to say yes, that does affect the probability because, and then I want you to finish that sentence. Letter C. As songs are playing, the number of songs left to play decreases. Therefore, the probability of playing each of the remaining songs depends on which songs have been played before. This is an example of events that are not independent. If Renee has already listened to Don't Call Me Mama, Carefree and Blue, and Smashing Lollipops, what is the probability that one of the singers of the 4th song will be Sapphire? Okay, so that was a lot of stuff. But let's go through this all one at a time. So, Don't Call Me Mama has already been played, so that one's gone. Carefree and Blue, that one's gone. And then Smashing Lollipops, that one's gone. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 are gone. What is the probability that one of the singers of the 4th song will be Sapphire? Well, Don't Call Me Mama, goodbye. That I'm going to just use my fingers. That one's gone. Carefree and Blue, and then Smashing Lollipops. So we're actually only left with 2 more songs. And only one of them has Sapphire, so it's going to be 1/2. So I'm going to say 1/2. And then it says explain, so you need a because. And go ahead and finish that. Then letter D, this one's a long problem, so let's read it together. To get home, Renee can take one of 4 buses, number 41, number 28, number 55, or number 81. Once she is on the bus, she will randomly select one of the following equally likely activities: listening to her music player, writing a letter, or reading a book. Her choice of bus and her choice of entertainment are independent events, because the bus that Renee takes does not affect which activity she chooses. For example, what is the probability that Renee writes a letter if she takes the number 41 bus? What is the probability that Renee writes a letter if she takes the number 55 bus? Okay, so when you have events that are independent, you multiply their probabilities. So let's go with that first one. What is the probability that Renee writes a letter if she takes the number 41 bus? Well, the probability of her writing a letter is going to be 1/3, because there's 3 options. And then the number 41 bus is 1/4, because there's 4 options. So that is 1/12. And then what is the probability that she writes a letter if she takes the number 55 bus? That's going to be the exact same thing. We have 1/3 times the 1/4, which is 1/12.